Welcome, welcome. We're here on another episode of Blue Collar Green Pockets. Tonight we've got hairstylist uh,
Yay!
Yeah,
Chuck
holla.
Wilson, Dave, Chuck
Woo
Wilson,
woo!
Dave Jones, myself. We're bringing in tonight. We've got Callie Williams, Kevin
Hello.
Kevin Crawford, and Heather
Holla.
O'Brien. They're going to here
Hello.
tell us all about the magical world of hairstylists. Real quick, Heather O'Brien. She's a stylist at Ciao Bella. That's Virginia Beach.
Yeah,
Heather?
right off of Farrell Parkway.
Okay, in Virginia Beach, we got Kevin Crawford with Kavan Studio. He's a stylist and owner. Kevin, shout out.
I'm Chessa Freak.
Chesapeake as well. All right, and then
Chessa
Callie
Freak.
Williams. Callie Williams is also a stylist and owner, and she's Options Hairstyles. Is that correct? In Virginia.
Options hairstyling in Chesapeake and Great Bridge.
Perfect. Great to have y'all on tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So real quick, this show every week we get on here, we just talk about great careers that people can jump in. Not to say they don't have to go to school, but they don't have to go straight to a 4-year college degree. They can. I mean, I know y'all have to get your licenses and all, and you're going to tell us all about that stuff. We're just going to jump right in tonight, and we're going to throw Heather on the spot because I know Heather, and she was just dying to do this show. So Heather, how did you get into hairstyles?
I went to TCC for about one semester and didn't like it and took a year off and then just decided that I wanted to do hair. No particular reason.
You didn't have like a good friend doing it, just
No, not really. Been doing it for 25 years now.
Is it true that you learned how to braid from your brother's back?
Hey, easy on the back here there, fella.
Well, he is pretty hairy.
Stop.
So you decided you want to do it. You practiced braiding hair on Sean's back.
Yeah,
And
and narrowing it.
So tell us about the process because you had to, you get your degree with the state and all that good stuff. So tell us
Yeah,
real
you have to
quick
get 1,500 hours. And then once you do that, you have to take state board. And then after that, you can work in a salon. Now, I assisted for 3 months after I got my license, and I think that's the best thing I ever did.
Okay.
Because you learn other things. You learn a different way to do things other than how the school teaches you.
Okay. Excellent. So we'll get back to you in some more questions here. We're just gonna get everybody introduced here real quick. Kevin, same
Yes,
question.
sir.
How did you get into this business?
I was in high school when I was licensed. I turned silver at 15 and started coloring everyone in my neighborhood and my family's hair. And my mother's like, you're going to that Votech. You're gonna get paid for this because you're an idiot and you can't make good grades and go to college. Really, basically, that was it. So I started doing that and working as a shampoo boy and all this stuff. And then once I graduated from high school, I wanted more education. So I went out to the West Coast and went to school out there. And when I was out in the school, I was picked to assist a stylist in Beverly Hills. And so I had to assist him for like 3 years, change to the shampoo bowl, and ended up staying out there working in Beverly Hills for 20 years because he gave me my own chair after 3 years. And I stayed out there and then came back home where my father got sick. And now I'm back here in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Awesome. We're already getting some questions in. So you got your license. Is there a special license you need for a straight razor?
Yes.
Yes, you have to have a barbering license.
Okay. Do either of y'all three have a barbering license or just the stylist?
No,
Nope.
I just have a cosmetology license.
Okay. So Callie, how did you get in this and what was your path?
I've always loved doing hair, even when I was little. So I'd mess with my Barbie's hair, my friend's hair.
Me too.
Went straight to the American Girl doll's hair. So I always known I wanted to do this. So it's something that I'm super passionate about.
That's
So I went straight to hair school right after high school. Rudy and Kelly Academy, the best school we have here, and it was an awesome experience.
Well, that's great, and I think you broke a record. I think Dave's about to do a backflip out of his seat because you already said passion, and these guys get off when that word is mentioned. You brought it in very early in the show, so
I think the show's over. Hey, Chuck, the show's over now.
Yeah, I mean that kills the whole section that we do. Right?
She went right to the P word early.
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
So this is when we bring Chuck in.
Chuck, the P word.
Gary.
Well, and that's what we try to touch on.
It's Deep Thoughts with Chuck Wilson.
Oh my God! I can't with you.
Yeah, that's that just blew my mind. So I'm no longer able to speak. But actually, each week we try to help folks find what they're passionate about and to head in that direction, rather than kind of get the cart before the horse and possibly not know what they want, go off to college and accumulate a tremendous amount of debt and not have a direction in life even after they've come out. So it's great to have you three on, and it sounds like each of you found what it is that turns the key for you.
Well, you find what you love to do that you would do for free, and then you make a living out of it. That's what basically, if you're lucky enough to find that passion, there's that word, and you something that you would do for free, not anymore, and make a living out of it. That to me is the American dream, and I think it's a blessing.
It's safe to say that y'all are all making a really decent living off of it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pub. I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, even from shampooing, I mean, that was cash tips, right? I mean, when you start out shampooing and sweeping floors and.
Well, out here it is, but out where I was at, you were hourly as well. And I mean, I probably made more money as an assistant out there in Beverly Hills back in the 80s and 90s than out here when I first came out here, working on commission in salons.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now running your own shops. I mean, you go, like you said, you really did a deal. You went from shampoo boy all the way up to owning your own shop. So, I mean, that took a course of how many years?
Well, I'm 32, and
Got a rough
Hey, you're stressing then. You better ease off work a little bit.
I mean, I was abused as a child. No, yeah, I've been doing this for 33, 34 years or something like that. I've been doing this a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heather, what about you?
I've been doing it for 25.
25 years. And like you said, you started out, you said assisting for 3 months or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I think
then
all new stylists should do some kind of assisting because it helps them.
Heather's really good.
Huh?
I said Heather's really good when she has an assistant and she trains them. She's really good with them. I've seen her in action, and
Thank
I've
you,
seen
Kevin.
her. We've shared assistants before, and they speak accolades of her. She does very well. She's very educational. She's really good at what she does.
Thank you.
This is not going the way I wanted to. I brought Heather in to give her a hard time. This is not working out for me at all.
Well, Heather doesn't. I'm not going to say anybody else's, but Heather, dispel this myth about crazy. Everybody says hair people who do hair are crazy. What's that all about?
I think
I haven't heard that.
I think
I
to a
think
degree
it-
we are.
I
We
think
have to deal with the public.
when they're in prison. I've heard that.
How about you, Callie? Have you heard that?
I think everyone's crazy. It just depends on the level of craziness.
That's good. That's good.
I like
You
that.
gotta hide your crazy.
1 to 10. You gotta hide your crazy. What about Callie? What about over your career? Have you had any really like interesting things? Like you cut somebody's hair off and they want you glue it all back on or something? Or something?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I started when I was 19, so I've waxed somebody's eyebrow off. I've cut their hair too short. I've had angry customers, and you really just got to grow tough skin and be confident in yourself and make that mistake, because that's the only way you're going to learn is making mistakes. And it's unfortunate, but it's just trial and error.
Isn't that
But you have
important?
to own your mistake.
Yeah, you got to own. That's what I was going to say, Heather. I mean, I find from being in business, one of the most important things is owning your mistake. And sometimes the customer you mess up on the worst can be your best customer in the long run because you made it right, or you hung in there with them, or
Well, I'm sorry. Going back to if we're crazy or not. Well, hairstylist is an art. We're artists, and we do have egos. And most artists, whether you're a singer, an actor, or a sculptor, there's an imagination that's involved in it. And being an artist, you have to have, a little bit of nuts going on in your head to be able to create this stuff and to deal with them at a psychological level too, because normally you attract the kind of client that the energy you're putting out.
Well, speaking of psychological, you're kind of a psychologist when you're doing hair, right? Aren't you listening to everybody's problems?
I'm a whole Oprah show.
What'd you say?
I'm a whole Oprah show.
I mean, y'all are.
Thank you here in the
on
chair.
everybody.
You happen to be a psychologist that cuts hair.
Absolutely, and especially like in some salons, and if you're serving like wine, or if it's a wedding, do a wedding. I challenge anyone that's not a hairstylist to come do a wedding. You're dealing with the bride and the nutbag mother and everyone. People are late and the lights are not right. And as hairstylists, we're the ones that get to hear it all and get the abuse for it all.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's got to be a cat fight in there somewhere. I mean, like
Yes.
the sister-in-law and the bride, and the mother-in-law and the other mother. Or whoever,
oh my God!
Whoever got pushed aside in the picture earlier for Facebook. Whatever happened.
Yeah, it's nuts. I was just doing a wedding 2 months ago down at the beach, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Don't incriminate
Yeah,
yourself.
sometimes after a
I
wedding,
forget where I'm at.
you just sit in your car without any music on. It's almost like you're abused a little bit. It's so much, because if the flowers are wrong, they get their bouquet in the middle of everything. You're doing their hair, the bridesmaids. There's always a crazy drunk bridesmaid. There's always a mean mom. There's always somebody late, or something's going wrong, and you're doing that bride's hair, and you got to be like, "It's fine, girl."
Yeah.
It's almost like every wedding party is probably going to have one of 20 things you can pick off a list. They're going to have the drunk bridesmaid or the mother-in-law.
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to have one of 20 things
Yes.
for every one of them. What do you think, Callie, what do you think the biggest, if you had to name like 3 attributes that somebody in your business needs to have, what would they be?
Somebody in my business, okay, they've got to have tough skin, number one, because you can't be sensitive. Some people will never like anything that you do, no matter what, if it's the perfect thing you've ever, the best color you've ever done. Some people they're just not going to like everything. You've got to make your own clientele, people that you like to do, people that you get excited about to come and work with. And you have to have the passion for it. You got to want to keep learning. You can never know enough about hairdressing to, learn. You know, to learn. You
Is
gotta,
is that because it's like this? Like we talk about the '80s hair all the time, so styles change
Yeah.
over
the
time.
styles change, or there might be a better technique for you to do something, or an easier way for you to do something. A new style, a new trend. It's just there's so much you can learn.
Do you see my hair? I changed into this in 1981, into this hairstyle.
Dave, the more hair you lose, the more head you get.
And now back to Jeb. Now back to Jeb.
And let me tell you, we have to correct you there, Callie. Heather and I do know everything. Yeah.
Speak for yourself, Kevin.
We established that about a year ago. We do know everything. But you know, I think that you also need to have like confidence, and I think that you need to be able to say no, don't you, Callie? Too, you have to be able to say no.
You have to learn to say no.
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, clients go, "Oh yeah, I want this skullet. You know, what do you think it look like on me?"
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
hear ya.
you have to say, yeah, you can go to Chuck's hairstylist and look at him.
It's a pretty man.
He's a pretty man, yeah.
Can't
I
help
mean,
it.
at some point, you got to tell these people, look, I'm a beautician, not a magician, right?
It's a
That's
comb,
it.
not a wand.
Yes.
It's a comb, not a wand.
Yeah.
Jeb's just coming off a recent haircut himself that we've been admiring.
I mean, pretty much.
A hair
I gotta
accident.
tell you, this is pretty much all I've ever had here. And my barber, hopefully he's watching. He's one of those guys. One of the first times I went there, he cut me all up. I looked like I got in a cat fight. He bled. I bled and bled, and he felt bad. Didn't charge me. And he's had me since then because I knew he felt bad. I wanted to go in there and get another free haircut.
I'll still charge you.
He'll still charge.
What's
I
that,
will
Dave?
still charge you for looking in the mirror.
I was going to say something. I could tell.
Yep.
Look at his face.
Well, I think that folks that I've seen that go to their hairstylist, women go to the hairstylist when they need a change in their outlook. I mean, that's quite the challenge to be able to help people improve their outlook, their opinion of themselves, and ability to kind of keep going. It's
Boost their confidence.
Well, it's very important because what's the saying, ladies? That it is, as a hairstylist, we are part of your weddings, funerals, graduations, promotions in your life, but we also can put a piece of your hair and DNA at a scene of a crime and walk away. So don't screw with us, okay? But we're at every occasion in your family. So we have you for a long period of time. We're there.
interesting. Very good.
I can leave now. That was good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Film at 11.
And scene.
So,
Heather, what do you have to say on that?
is there continued education y'all have to do to update your licensing?
No, we don't.
Continued
But a
education?
lot of us do.
Some states.
Okay. So you do it anyway.
Well,
it's not,
in
it's not
Virginia,
mandatory.
you don't.
Yeah, you don't, Virginia. Yeah.
Okay.
But in LA, I had to get my license was 2,800 hours.
Okay.
So when I left from here with, I think it was like 900 or something like that. When I went out there in order to do hair, it was like 2,800 back then. But this was a long time ago. I think it's probably changed again. I don't know, but I have reciprocity to do hair pretty much everywhere.
Okay. And Kevin, you said you went to Votech, correct? In
The beginning,
Right,
yeah.
right. I'm just saying. I mean,
Until they kicked me out. No, but go ahead.
it happens. So,
It happens to me a lot.
but point is that kids as early as high school can't get in this career. They can actually get a free education by taking these classes in high school and getting a lot of their hours in, and then go be Heather's assistant or one of y'all's assistant, shampoo, learn how to braid her brother's back. I mean, there's a lot of avenues they can learn from, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what are y'all finding as far as people coming into your business or your trade, I should say? Is there people lining up to get in? I mean, are y'all having a hard time hiring people? What's going on with your industry? And a lot of our other industries we're hurting for people. That's why I asked.
I think the problem is that the younger stylists want it handed to them. They don't want to work for
Exactly.
the clientele.
Right.
And you have to. You have to work for your clientele. You can't just walk into a salon and expect every client to stay with you. You have to do something to keep them in your chair.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. You lose some clients. You do lose clients, but if you know how to. I'll tell you what. When I worked in DC, I walked to a salon, and the guy said to me, "Go out on the street and come back in an hour with a woman that you can highlight, color, and cut and everything." And I walked out there and within 5 minutes and came back with a woman off the street and did her hair, did everything like that. And he goes, "You're hired."
Hmm.
I mean, it's just basically you gotta if you want to treat it like a hobby, you get paid like a hobby in this business. And if you go out there, I come in before the salon's open, and I will stay later, and I'll work on my days off, and I do it all just to get my clients in. Whatever they want, I'll do. To a limit now, but some of these younger people, they come in and they only work when they want to work, and then they don't try to get on social media. Heather, I mean, God, if we had social media back in the day, I mean, like, it'll be a whole different story, wouldn't it?
Yes.
We had 2 soup cans and a string, and that's how we got on social media. Okay. Yeah.
As far as more getting into the industry, though, I mean, is there a lot trying to get into the industry? I mean,
Every other day, every 16 and pregnant girl and people that get kicked out of high school, the counselors say, "You can be a hairstylist."
okay, so y'all have a lot of people trying,
Yeah.
just not succeeding per se.
I think so.
I think they're succeeding.
You have to have the passion for it.
Do you
Yeah.
guys? Do any of you offer like an apprenticeship program or
I don't.
anything for younger people?
At the salon I work at, yes, they do.
Okay. All right. And how's that work? Is it high school or is it after high school or what?
It just depends. I mean, you have to do longer schooling, but I think you end up being a better hairdresser.
I
And
agree.
you get paid too. You get paid
Yeah,
as
and
you're
you
going
learn
through it.
more because you learn from everybody.
Hmm.
Everybody does
Yeah.
hair differently, and you can always learn something from somebody.
And what not to do.
True.
I mean, that's great coming from 3 people all doing great in their own job, and the fact that y'all are constantly learning from each other still. I mean, that's.
Always.
I mean, with the
constantly.
dressing room, you would think y'all got that pride. You're like, yeah, I can do it better over here, but y'all are actually more of a universe. I like that.
Hey, Callie, somebody that comes to work in one of your places or something, not to get too specific,
Okay.
like they have their own chair, correct? Is that how it works? Like a dentist would have their own chair they work out of? Is
Right.
that pretty much how it is? Okay, so they have their chair, and then are they getting paid by the hour or by percentage or by? I'm sure they're getting tips, but are they getting paid anything else or?
It depends on the stylist. If the stylist has their own clientele and they rent a chair from me, they have to pay a certain amount of rent a week.
Okay, rent. All right.
Yeah. So they rent the chair. But if they're new stylists and they're coming from school, they get a percentage. Usually we start them off with a little bit less than 50. They work their way up, and I kind of try to help assist them to build their clientele enough to where they're constantly busy. And the main goal is to rent your chair because you can ultimately make more money that way. And, plus tips and make your own appointments, have your own book, check people in and out right at your station with,
Okay. Oh.
catch up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What about getting hurt? I mean, carpal tunnel. I mean, any of that going on from the
Bad neck, bad posture, anything?
bad back,
Yeah.
feet, back,
Shoulder
back.
hurt, feet hurt, legs.
All the
shoulders.
above.
Everything hurts.
It all hurts.
It hurts.
Yeah.
So how do you stay current? I mean, what is the as styles change and so on? I mean, how do you evolve into what people
Social-
are wanting in the
Social
moment?
media mainly.
Social
I think
media?
social media has a lot of influence. So does Pinterest. People will bring you a picture off of Pinterest,
Yeah,
and
I love that.
Pinterest is every day.
Yeah.
So
So if Dave brought in a picture of Chuck, could y'all pull that off?
Apparently, you didn't read my name, Jeff. Did you read my name tag?
I'd have to sue.
Hey, Chuck, we got pretty good hair for old guys.
I think so. Yeah. Now Kevin said he's silver. I'm platinum myself, but
No, I'm a silver fox. You're a gray panther. Yeah.
What about beards? How do you is that a growing trend? And
Yep.
with women,
beards are tricky with the
Always.
mask.
Oh,
Currently,
It is?
tricky.
well, that's a
Why is
good
it
point.
tricky? It's tricky.
Beard, just with the mask.
With the mask.
Oh, with the mask.
Oh,
it's
with
a-
the mask.
Oh,
So yes, that's a
Yeah.
whole nother. I mean, right now that's
Yeah.
gotta make y'all's job even harder with the whole PPE.
Yeah.
and
Does that
everything.
scare you in your job?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No. How about you, Heather? The whole
Well, I'm
COVID.
sorry, I didn't hear the question.
The whole COVID thing. What's that been like for you in your industry?
It's been hard because I still have clients that haven't come back yet, that they're still
Wow.
scared.
Really?
Yep.
Mhm.
Have you ever done anything like where you've gone into a nursing home or maybe a geriatric home or something and did people's hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. I think that's pretty neat.
Not yet.
So when actually were y'all allowed to open back up? Because y'all were down for what, 2-3 months?
Yeah, probably May
7
15th. Virginia was May 15th.
So just about 2.5 months roughly y'all were closed for the most part.
Yeah.
And West Coast, I mean, a lot of them are still closed, right? Kevin, you probably have the down low one out there, right?
Depends on where you're at. Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole underground thing.
Yeah, I saw Nancy Pelosi at one of them today.
yeah.
Hey, Kevin, did you ever do anybody's like Rock Hudson's hair or any famous people out in California when you were out there?
Well, you can't help but not do it out there because I was out there when people were on the way to start being famous, the people that I had known and worked with and worked around, and now they wouldn't even know who in the hell I am. But back then they were just trying to make it, I was lucky enough with the gentleman I assisted, he worked a lot on in the industry on films and stuff like that, and I was able to tag along with him and help out and stuff. But everyone.
So you like cut the hair off Jim Rockford's ear or something? James Garner. Did you trim his mustache?
They were all trying to get Chuck's haircut back then too.
Trying. They were trying.
So yeah, it was like the little boy from the Brady Bunch.
Bobby Brady.
Cousin Oliver, you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Cousin It?
Yeah. But
Heather, do you have any children getting into this business, this industry?
No, I have a son.
Okay.
He's not interested in doing hair.
He's gonna work with his Uncle Shaw and doing.
Yeah.
He needs to get over there in Italy and get on that carpool over there. Motor pool.
Yeah. He's following in his uncle's footsteps.
How about you, Callie? Any family members in this?
I have a 5-year-old, so I'm going to teach her how to sweep here shortly. So we'll get
good training.
train her up.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, any family?
I have Presley and Maggie. Chuck knows them.
They're in the
A dog.
business. And the other
Presley's a
chick-
beagle and Maggie's a beagle.
Now, do you have them sweeping the floors?
They seem to do really well on their own. They're leaving more hair than there is to sweep to my client. Yeah.
What's the attrition rate? Like somebody was saying earlier, everybody that flunks out of school and pregnant wants to become and I don't believe that. I think it's a career somebody wants to get in. But what's the attrition rate? I mean, people come in there. Does 1 out of 3 make it 3 years, or what? What happens?
I find a lot of people, they get into it, like Heather, like Kelsey, they do it for a little bit, and they assist and all that. Then they're like, you know what? I don't want to do hair. I want to try something different. They think it's different than it is, and they don't realize. I'm not saying this about Kelsey, because Kelsey was one of the most is the most talented stylists I know, one of them. And she's like, she decided that she wanted to go into like physical therapy or training people and stuff like that, but a lot of people find out it's not exactly what they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Or they get into it, then all of a sudden they have a baby, and then they're like, after they have the baby, they're like, oh my God, now I have to start all over again, build a clientele, do this and that, and find a place I want to work at. I'm going to go back to TCC and I'm going to become an accountant or a nurse or something.
It seems like in my town, I'm in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and it seems like here, like 10% of the stylists are doing 90% of the work. It's like you hear the same names all the time. It's always the same people, it seems like.
Well, Rehoboth, it's a small little area there.
Yeah, it's small. But it seems like you always hear the same names. I'm going to so-and-so. I'm going to so-and-so. We got a guy up here that, you ever hear of Bad Hair Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big place up here. Drexel. He's grown that thing. I watched him grow that thing over the years, and it grew into a mega salon up here.
Yeah, I remember it very well.
Yeah, he was like the guy here. So I think it's interesting that the people. It's another example. It's kind of like real estate. We had realtors on here one week.
It's story time with Dave Jones.
Story time.
You're welcome.
That's just correct. But anyway, it seems like you got to get in that niche of the people that really want to excel. And back to the passion, you got to make a difference, right? You got to separate yourself from the person in the next chair or the salon down the road. You got to give that client a reason to come back to you.
You got to have a
right?
gimmick.
Yeah.
Have you ever, Callie, you ever see a situation like in one of your salons where somebody comes in and gets their hair done, and then the next time they come, they want to get in somebody else's chair?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe a couple times. Usually that doesn't happen because they don't want to hurt feelings.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them, community over competition and still have them come in the salon. But yeah, of course, they just don't want to hurt feelings. So
they just don't come back to the salon
probably.
Which is too bad.
Yeah, they just don't want the confrontation or intimidation about, I just wasn't very happy with my person. I don't want her to see me with somebody else and hurt their feelings. So
what about your tools? Your tools in that industry? Does the employee bring their own tools, their own scissor, their own?
No. Oh, hell no.
Well, I mean, I'm a refrigeration guy.
I wish they did. No.
So Kelly, that's a great question. I was going to ask him to get more into that, but so you say you'll rent a chair. So
right.
They get the chair, they're
right
in the facility and all. They bring surely their scissors, shears,
everything.
Okay, they bring all that.
Yeah, styling tools.
And the
so
products.
they're bringing that. And the products. They bring their own products.
They can bring their own products, but I typically like them to sell the products that we sell in the salon.
Absolutely.
Like I'll have them use something, and if we sell it in the salon, then they get a percentage of that as well.
Okay.
But color, they bring their own color.
Yeah,
right?
bring their own color. They have their own lockers in the back room, so each of them have a locker. They have their own color, bowls, brushes, and anything extra,
So
they'll
give me,
supply for themselves.
give
Do
me
you have
the
assistants?
spectrum.
A what?
Assistants?
You have assistants.
I have a shampoo tech for the whole salon, but I don't personally have an assistant right now. I have before, and it was amazing, but not right now.
So describe that person. So you say you're going to rent this chair. Give me a,
Okay.
because it's called Blue Collar Green Pocket. So we got to talk a little bit about money here.
Okay.
Person is coming in. Okay, they just got their schooling hours. They're doing all that. They did their assistants. They just get their first chair. A rough idea of about what they can make, and then the other end, somebody that's got their clientele. They're humping. They're getting it all done. Person in, out constantly, and the kind
Right.
of money that they could make.
Right. So
Start on the low end.
typically somebody fresh out of school, not many people want to go to this person because they're new.
Right.
But they have the passion. They have just learned everything. You know what I mean? They're fresh out of school, and some people are really just intimidated to go to a new stylist. So they might have some walk-ins. They might have their friends or family, their neighbors or something come in, and they're making 45% commission. So they do, 5 colors or something a day, and they're only making 45% of what will be charged, say $80. Where as a booth renter, they do 5 colors. They make that all their money and tips, and they just leave at the end of the day. They don't really mess with chores. They don't have to, kind of help clean up, wipe down. They just make their appointments and they dip.
So what kind of money is that? Just say yearly, roughly, from one end to the other. Just a
First starting out, I don't know. First starting out, you're looking at 3 years building your clientele, I'd say.
30, 40
in
grand
Great
maybe
Bridge.
a year, something like that. Would that be a fair estimate? Ish.
For somebody who's well established, I'd say maybe 50
Okay.
a year, depending, on how busy they are, how much they work, how much they want to work.
Okay. And a lot of that tip wise, so cash, or is that
Cash tip, that's theirs.
on top of that, or
On top of that.
okay.
So we usually, have some cash in our pocket, and then it's just such a great industry. Either way, you just gotta find a right team and a couple different people you can trust.
Okay, Heather,
So-
what about your shop? Relatively close to the same? I mean, would you say people coming in around 30 and topping out 80s? I mean, what would you say?
Yeah,
on a chair?
probably, depending on how
Okay.
busy you are.
Okay, I mean that's great money.
And I would guess that the more aggressive or adept folks are with social media
Right.
and so on can
Oh, the
really
hustle.
accelerate that. And
Yeah, they got the hustle. That's definitely going to make a difference.
They got to promote themselves for sure. We're not gonna do it for them all the time.
Well, I've seen like I don't have hair other than on my face, and
In your
go
nose.
in the nose. I go to a barber called Vintage Barbershop because they specialize in beards, and there's a certain culture to big guys with big beards, and
Right.
so you go there, you sit down, you have a beer, you can have a coffee, and they kind of come off more like the biker chicks and stuff, so they're a little bit more kind of, I don't know what the right word for it. It's kind of just a more rough personality, which is fun, and you can joke around and have a good time with them, and there's a whole atmosphere, and it seems to me like a niche thing. I at least growing up, I don't recall that as a type of barber shop, but I love going there because I can go sit down, have a beer, and have a good conversation, and then try new oils for my beard, and then they'll trim it up and stuff.
It's a gentleman's club, and they had them out in the West Coast and in the bigger cities for a long time, and now they're finally coming out here. Where Heather works, they own 2 of them, the GHQs. They do really well. They're very busy. They're very popular. They're more boutique, and every time they bring their girlfriend or wife, I heard them saying all the time, God, why isn't there something like this for us women that's just women, you know? So it's a whole no. Yeah, you're right. It's a niche now that's for men. I'm glad that men are okay with saying it's okay to take care of ourselves now. We can wax the hair in our nose and in our ears, and we can shape ourselves up. We can use hair gel and waxes and pomades, and they're specialized for us. You know, it never used to be that way.
I got a question. Again, this is so off the wall, but who sharpens your like scissors and stuff? Do you sharpen them, or somebody else that does that?
Send them off.
I have someone who comes and they take them, and I pay a monthly thing for I have Hanzo shears, and the person comes, they take them, and I have plenty of them. So
there's a person that does that. That's their business.
Yeah, my shears cost like $3,000.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they come and routinely just keep them sharp for you.
Well, whenever I have a certain amount a year that I can do, you know, and then that's part of my monthly thing, you know.
Now, Jeff, I don't know why you thought that was funny, but I thought it was a good question.
That was a great question, Dave.
Don't you ever wonder about stuff?
Is anybody else asking questions?
Angela Hall just said she'll see you tomorrow. That's actually a friend of mine too. So she sees you. She just posted, I guess she has an appointment with you tomorrow, Kev.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Small world.
I haven't seen too many other posts here.
She wants Chuck's haircut.
Everybody wants Chuck's haircut.
Anybody ever come in and just say, take it all off?
Oh, yeah.
I get that a lot too.
Heather, you have anybody come in and say, I just want to be bald? I want to be Vin Diesel.
Not very many.
No, never had that happen.
Yeah, I heard in my head. Is that a common thing? Because at least at Vintage, like they actually do the straight razor head shave, which I like to get every now and again because you get the
around here. Is that legal? Straight razor around here?
Yes.
I get it at Vintage.
At a barber.
Moops breaking the law.
Yeah, I called him out. They're in big trouble now.
It's like it's called a leather.
The strop.
Yeah, there's something. Never mind. Perish the thought. There's something that's called for it. Like, yeah.
The GHQ place that y'all mentioned does it because the girl cut me there too. I'm just
no, they don't.
No,
they don't.
She cut me up.
But they don't have the real razors there.
No, you're right. It was like this. It wasn't like a normal. It was weird. You're right. Though.
It's a razor with It's not even a razor. It's a piece of aluminum almost. Yeah.
She jacked me up with that thing too. So I quit getting shaved at the barber. I'm a bleeder.
Yeah. Are you a bleeder?
I'm a bleeder.
Too much alcohol in your blood.
Hey, Kevin, can you recommend a mousse to Jeff? A certain mousse for his hair?
I like my styling product.
Is that
it's called product, Dave. Get it right.
I think it's called refrigeration oil. You slam that stuff up in there.
I think a little bit of spit and determination will help that.
Uh-huh.
So let's talk about advice for somebody that's watching the show right now. What is their best avenue to be y'all? I mean, let's say they're in high school. We'll start with that, and then give me the person that missed the high school window of OTAC.
Support from your parents or family.
Okay.
Like my dad had a business before he retired, and every single time something happened, I'd be on that phone. Dad, what do I do? So I think somebody business minded. My parents helped me a lot. I was 23 when I bought my salon, and today marks 11 years since I've owned it. So
very good.
That's very impressive.
And,
Yeah.
and you owe it all to your third or fourth grade teacher, right, Kelly? Is that the?
Oh, it's because of Miss Bradner for sure. Everything I've learned is from Miss Bradner.
But even to get it there, so like say they can't even get hired. I mean, do they come say, "Hey, I'm gonna shampoo for free, sweep floors for tips"? I mean, how can they get a leg into any of y'all's shops?
Assisting.
I think, and this is my opinion from, I think you have to do this business the old school way that we used to do back in the day, Chuck. You and I are the same age, I think. Where you go and knock on the door of the salon and say, "Here I am. I want to get a job." Not online on the computer and doing that. You either go, I think you need to go and show up, because believe it or not, this is a visual job. We have to see. Like, if someone walks into a salon and they don't have an appointment, they're going to look around and they're going to look and see what suits their style and who's doing. Maybe they want a man, maybe they want a woman, maybe they want a woman, but they have to walk into a place and they have to see. So I think a visual. I'll tell you what, like a salon that I used to work out before this, there was a girl that came in for her interview, and she came in with slippers. She had slippers on, and she came in for her interview. And it's like, these young kids from that generation, they don't want to do what it takes, like Heather said, and come in and meet people, shake hands, look me in the eyes. Because in this business, we're licensed to touch people. We are licensed to touch people. You can't look like an old bus seat and Fleabag thing without, I don't know. That's the way I look at it.
Yes,
I want it all handed to them.
Yeah. So you have
They
to.
want that clientele handed to them,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I think you hit on something that strikes me, and I've commented a lot on it to a lot of people, is you got to have a lot of confidence of character, and you got to be able to present yourself professionally.
Absolutely.
Because especially in your job, people are going to look at you, and if you don't look like you're dressed and your hair's to the nines, why do they want?
Yeah, you only is
that is true. Yes, that's true.
We are messing with people's egos. That's what we're doing as a career. And you're only as good as your last movie in this business. Whatever you put out in the street, that is what people look at, and that's your calling card.
Yep.
And curtain. Bye.
Clients judge you by your appearance.
Yeah.
Are there things, because it's people can be extremely skilled but be very timid and very lacking in confidence, and they might have all the other skills and all the other requisite
I'm shy.
Need. Are there tips, I guess, that you would give to somebody that to get them out of that?
Yes. You learn it as you go. Each client, you just learn it as you go. I was a very shy. I didn't want to talk to anybody, look them in the eye, but you've got to fake it till you make it. I told myself, I'm an actress. I'm going to make this person stay. And you got to have that confidence. You shake their hand, you look them in the eye, and you say, "We're going to do this today." And you fake it until you make it. You literally have to
do y'all
keep showing up, right, Kelly?
Look at those bowl things that come down over the head.
A dryer?
What? Yeah.
Y'all still use those things? Those were so
We got those.
That's still a thing?
A dryer?
Dryers?
Yeah. This is a dryer.
Are you talking about your crash helmet and your drool cup?
I haven't been to a beauty salon since like with my grandma back in the day, so I'm checking out technology. I'm just trying to find out what kind of technology.
Hey, Heather, is there a typical gratuity for you guys? Like, is it 20% like hospitality, or what is that?
40.
We get asked that a lot. It just depends. Some people tip on percentage, and some people just do a dollar amount. It doesn't matter how much the service is. They just will strictly give you a certain dollar amount,
No matter what.
no matter what. So you could have a $300 service and they'll give you $5.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I stay all night.
okay. For the
Yes.
record, those at home,
Yeah.
any of y'all that do that, y'all are cheap.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
That's
I
ridiculous.
literally followed someone out to the parking lot that did that to me one time. And I tapped on her window and she rolled the window down and I said, I think you need this more than me. Here's your $5 back. And I walked away.
Heather, what kind of hours can somebody expect to work in your business?
8 to 10 a day.
Yep. 8 to
Like
10.
Like 8 in the morning to 10 at night, or
Just the
No,
hours.
no.
Like maybe 12 to 8 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
and weekends?
Most hairdressers tend to work later.
Okay,
We tend to not be morning people.
got it.
We're night owls.
I mean, so people that are thinking about getting in, are you working weekends in this trade?
Weekends, yeah.
Saturday.
When somebody's
At
off
least
work.
Saturdays.
basically.
Well,
Not
I'm traveling on Sundays and I have a few clients that are older in their 80s that like tomorrow I'm going to someone's house and they don't want to leave the house right now, so I'll work on Sundays and but for the most part, I usually don't leave my house to go to someone's house unless it's $300 or more. And I have a few of those.
Judy Shearer says she's at the salon at 8 a.m. every day.
That's right. That's my girl, Judy. Where's she at? Yeah, she is.
She just posted.
Hey, Judy.
That's my girl. She's a hard worker.
She's another yoga friend.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
So Callie, we're moving on here, and what I want to ask you is, I want you to give you like your 2-minute pitch on why somebody should get into your industry and why it's something worthwhile.
Okay, so if you are creative, you like doing hair, you like people, you're a people person, and it's something you see yourself interested in, I would go ahead and take the plunge during high school, after high school, and it's a great business. It's a wonderful business. I love my clients. They're like family to me. I've been doing hair for 15 years, and I look forward to going to work every day. So college didn't interest me, and I knew what I wanted to do. So I would just say, just follow your dreams and make sure that you are confident enough to start your journey, go to a good school, and get behind a good stylist to help you assist. You just got to get behind a well-educated stylist, somebody who's been doing it for a long time, and copy what they do.
It doesn't sound like it's work to you. It sounds like it's something you truly enjoy.
I love it. I love all my people. I love the artistic ability, everything about it.
Are any of these salons helping pay for the schooling?
No.
No.
I mean, not necessarily y'all's, but like a big company.
Sometimes my commission people, I'll pay half their ticket for a hair show, and we encourage them to go for continuing education because it motivates everybody. Everybody gets remotivated, gets excited about get back in the salon and do hair. So if there's a hair show coming up, everybody can go. We'll pay half their ticket to go and drive down there and just learn some stuff and then get excited to continue with their career.
And Chuck, are you modeling at this year's hair show?
Well, again, yes.
Okay.
In the
I'm
future.
gonna do his hair on stage there, and I'm gonna show everyone how difficult it is. When you take the bowl and you put it on the head, and you cut around it, and then you kind of set it on fire, and then you kind of beat him with a stick as he goes down the runway in a tutu.
Again, yeah.
I fully support that.
Every year.
Kevin, you're up, so go ahead. Tell us your advice for that young young buck trying to get into the business?
Well, I just think that if you don't have to be like the best at what you do. It's a growing thing. A lot of people come to you as clients for different reasons. They could come to you because of your personality. They can come to you for how good you do a haircut, or if you're a good colorist, and you may go to somebody else for a haircut. But if you're a people person, and if you want to make your own hours in the business, but you want to work really hard, I think that this is a business for you. Because if you want an extra pair of Gucci's or Prada or whatever you want, you stay and you do an extra highlight. You know what I mean? And there's so many ways that kids now that's so much easier for back in my day with the social media. I mean, you could become a billionaire from social media alone. People are doing them online and showing people what not to do and what to do. But you know, you just got to be able to work hard and get out of this town for your education. You need to go other places once you're licensed and learn that with this license, you can go on cruise ships, you can go on islands, you can go in hotels, casinos. You don't have to work at some tiny little salon. But if you want to, that's okay too. But you can do what you want with the business.
And you can even be a shit stylist as long as you got that social media platform.
If you have that social media, you could be a shit stylist.
And the personality. If you have the
Yes.
personality.
And you can be shy like me behind a chair, right, Heather?
Yeah.
Heather, you're up. What would you like to add to their advice to these people getting in your industry?
I think that you definitely have to learn from other people. You have to stick it out and not just think everything's going to be handed to you. You have to work for it. You have to go get your clients, word of mouth, things like that. And you just, even if you have to sit there for 8 hours, that's what you have to do. You have to be willing to work for your clientele. And you have to be willing to, the old saying of, I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Put the time in.
You need to do things for your clients that you may not want to do, but you have to do it to keep them.
You know, Heather, how many times have you had assistants that are new come into the salon and then they're like, they always act like they know it already. They know it already. They know it already. They know it already. Yeah.
Yes. You always can learn something.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how long you've been doing hair. You can always
Heather,
learn
I don't know your parents, but I know your brother from another podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many brothers and sisters you have, but I mean, between you and your brother, you've got two really good people with really good work ethics in your family. So whatever your parents did, they did a good job.
They did a good job.
You guys have it's so funny. You're both in such different industries, but you both have the same attitude. You have the same attitude your brother has. I listen to him talk about what he does. So, hey, I just wanted to say to all of you, I just wanted to say to all of you before these other guys grab you is thank you for coming on. It's a tough industry you're in because you're dealing with people, but at the same time, it's rewarding because you're dealing with people. So, best of luck to all of you. You're all true professionals, and I wish you were around my place. I'd come get my hair clipped tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He'd be going in there with my picture though. He'd be like,
I don't think so. You look like you have a lot of animosity to whoever shaved your head there.
I just wanted to point out that based on our conversation tonight, your field is kind of wide open. There's no shortage of people needing their hair care of. So, but if you are willing to work and learn and treat your customers well and keep showing up on a daily basis and hanging in there, I mean, it's a great industry, and especially if you're not going to do it if you end up finding out that you don't have the passion for it. So it's something you can at least try. If you think it's something that you have an interest in, you'd be able to give it a shot.
Yes, the best industry. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We are right at the top of the hour. Chuck, any more? You good?
I'm just so thankful that our guests were all here tonight. This is great.
Yeah, we threw this show together. Look, we threw this together last minute. Thank y'all so much. We couldn't. I mean, honestly, we couldn't.
So we
couldn't have planned a better panel. Well, we couldn't have planned a better panel. We were actually not sure what we were going to do this week, so we figured it out. Y'all came along. It worked out great. So, thank y'all so much for coming in. And again, if y'all are sitting at home, if you have any questions, if you want to know anything about hit us up on Blue Collar on our webpage. I'm sorry, Facebook, and we can get you in touch with any of these people. If you got any questions, I'm sure they'll be happy to ask. Heather, she don't do shit, so she sits at home and she's no longer has to pick me up at the bar at 2 a.m. So she's not doing anything. Text her like 1:30. She don't care.
Yeah, and now that Sean moved, I don't have to pick him up either.
Right. But again, next week we'll be back Tuesday, 8 o'clock. It's gonna be.
Well, don't give it up yet.
I'm not gonna say the word.
No.
Estheticians is the word.
That's the word.
You can't even say it.
I can't. Thank you, Chuck. All right, that was Greg Dessette. Thank you, Greg. So thanks, guys, everybody.
Not anesthesiologists, by the way.
Great show. You guys are great. Y'all can hang on for a minute. We're gonna sign out. Good night,
Good night, everybody.
Bye.